Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to Thursday afternoon at the E-Carrier Check Show. Usually we're going live on Fridays. Today we're going to skip it up, move it up a little bit, and I'm excited. We got Jay Sawyer on. He's going to knock it out of the park today. We're going to be talking about, how to set up your trucking company, how to set up your brokerage, your dispatching service. He's going to go all in, and I'm excited about that. But before we do that, I really want Nate to dive into his week. I know we're only into Thursday, but we've had some strong demos. We've had some strong conversations. Give us a rundown of where you're at. What's going on in your week?
Still no sounds. Oh, Jay, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Tire Killer, can you hear us okay? I know you're here every time. Let us know. Jefferson says no sound.
I have great sound.
Okay, that's good. Tire Killer, we've been trying to work very hard on this.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, my week has been great. Demos have been off the charts.
Yeah.
Just great questions. Awesome, Jefferson. Thanks for being here, man. A lot of the questions I seem to be getting this week is starting up our business. So I'm glad to have Jay here because I think he could really throw out some good tools and advice. And he has some cool things that I can send out to everyone after the live. So if you are very interested in what he has to say and you want some more information, I'll send that out. But yeah, it's been a good week with that. And for those of you that are newer to our channel, we are a streaming and sourcing utility platform. We're trying to take over, the social media as best as we can with our platform and helping you source some good leads. So we're built for brokers, freight brokers, dispatchers, carriers. We even have insurance people on our platform, so it's awesome. Our community is great, but yeah, so thanks for everyone joining today.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what Jay has to say for us.
Absolutely. A couple of the things that I really think are important, and then we'll have Jay kind of jump in here is October is a big month where Nate and I both have the pink shirts on. Proceeds from your subscriptions of E-Carrier Check are actually going back to a nonprofit this month called Festival of Hope, and it's specifically around helping families, helping women get through breast cancer. And so we're excited to be giving back. Last year we did this exact same thing. We were able to give them a fairly nice check and help some families out. Yep. And we're going to do the exact same thing this month. So, your subscriptions are going back to that. We're just taking some of that money and just taking it straight to them. So we're excited about that. We'll be doing a check presentation later and going from there. But, I got to tell you, Jay, and I want people to know who you are, but I want to kind of just give you a quick lead in because, we have a lot of different experts in the industry on. We have, sales guys and marketing guys and people that are in the trenches every day. But this is how I view you, Jay, is every time I get into my car at night in the parking lot and, it's dark out. And you're sitting there, and all you have is just some lights. You've got 300 feet of lights with your friggin' your headlights. And, at the end of the day, Jay, for me, you are my headlights. You're the guy that's lighting up 300 foot in front of us because sometimes we don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that you're on, Jay, because you bring such an interesting and such a great talent when it comes to how do you set up your company? How do we, do those things that you should do, specifically with accounting, with all this stuff. So, Jay, I'm going to just let you take it from the top, and let's talk about how to set up your trucking company. But introduce yourself first. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of Q&A today, or we're hoping there is. So, any questions for Jay, bring them on. But, Jay, introduce who you are, what you do, and then, let's talk through, setting up a trucking company.
Sure. Thanks, guys. Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on. I love the shirts. I lost my mother to breast cancer many years ago. Technology has changed. There's a lot of things on the forefront. That's a very important subject to me and my family and a lot of people who've gone through that. So kudos to you guys. Kudos to E-Carrier Check. And it's such an important subject. But I'm really thrilled to be here. It's very exciting. There's actually a lot of things to look forward to. I mean, we got over the hump of the summer and the diesel prices are crazy. We have huge times in front of us. We have some things that could be changing nationally here very soon. We have 2023 to look forward to. So I have a lot of optimism, realizing that we got bit a lot over the past year, but we just have to regroup. That's what being in business is all about. You just have to prepare and be ready for that. So my name is Jay Sawyer. I'm with the Patriot Group. We've been in the trucking space for more than 10 years. We're a full service CPA firm. We service uh, owner operators of trucking companies all over the United States. We have about 2,000 active clients. We have a mailing list of about 30,000 truckers. We're just we're new in the YouTube space, so we're just getting into that. We've been on radio and ads like that. So, um, and of course, we've been with Shaggy for quite a while. But anyway, um, we have 3 offices. We have an office in New York, New Jersey, and the state of Florida. We're in West Palm Beach, and we service those clients. It doesn't matter where you're at, where you are. We just had somebody call and needed, they're opening up a business and said, well, I need an LLC. Do I have to come to your office? And they're certainly welcome to, but it's not necessary, to take care of your business that way. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. We have 4 CPAs here. My background is law, so I went, accounting and then law, so I know, about the tax law. I also, we have some clients who were either athletes or former athletes. We have a few NFL guys, some baseball players,
Awesome.
and for the the most part, we have just guys getting into the trucking industry who are either investing now or have been, and they need they have some accounting or tax questions. So the industry can be very lucrative, whether you're in it, just you just want to have like one truck or 2 trucks, or you want to go big and go wide. I mean, it's all there. The opportunity is there. So that's a little bit of, my background. I work with a team here. We actually have a set of owners who fund our business, who are not involved day to day. I'm sort of like the operations manager. They're just paying for our radio ads and things. They're the guys in the suits, and I'm one who's getting my hands into the weeds. So that's me. We like speaking trucking. Part of my background is I started as a student. I was at Middle Tennessee State University, which is Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I worked at ComCheck. And I didn't know a ComCheck, from my backside. And the company's actually ComData, and they were formed in 1969. So I got to work right alongside the guy who started that, who's no longer here, Kurt Harder, and so I was right there on Crestmore Road in Nashville, and in the accounting department, and just kind of learning, like, why would they send money to a truck stop, and it was paying for fuel, and that was back in the mid 80s and everything. But that's sort of where I cut my teeth on getting an appreciation for guys out on the road. So we all know, if Tire Killer's not out there and he's away from his family in Arkansas or in Kentucky, and all the other guys, if they're not out there every day, we're not receiving our products. We're not receiving food on the shelves. So, there's such an appreciation for this industry, and that's one of the reasons why I, feel that it's just a privilege to serve in this industry. So, we like speaking trucking. We like talking to drivers. So, when people just have questions, they might not even be our clients. You're welcome to call in and just kind of kick the tires, so to speak. If you have, questions, and let's say you're with some other accounting firm, we're more than happy to help you out. It's not like we're trying to steal you from another accounting firm. If it's a good fit, it's a good fit, so that's sort of, how we would look at it. But if you're kind of new to this industry, or you're just sort of getting the legs built up under your table. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you have 3 legs under your table, and you're really starting to get serious. Maybe you drove as a company driver for somebody, and maybe you want to put your own sign on your own front door, basically. So one of the first things that you would have to do is form your own business. And when you form your own business, there's usually just 2 ways to go. You whatever state you're in, you would kind of form it in that state. So whether that's Michigan, Indiana, New York, Arkansas, Texas, wherever. So you form it in that state, and you also get a number from the IRS. So when you form it in your state, that's called getting, basically it's an LLC is what most people get. You can also, instead of the LLC, you could form it as an S corporation. And I left some papers that'll be emailed to you. That'll show you the difference between an LLC and an S corporation. They're both basically just ways to form your business that protects you. So let's say, for example, you form your business and you're Tire Killer LLC. Well, if something were to happen on the road, let's say there was an accident. Well, having Tire Killer LLC will essentially protect you from any liability. And of course, that really comes down to a judge and things like that. But in general, that's the purpose of it. So let's say you own a home and you had an accident and you're at fault and there's $100,000 worth of damage. Having the LLC or the corporation is like building a wall around your personal family, around your life. So if you own a home and you have $100,000 of equity, that's sort of protected. You built a gate, a wall around that. So if you were at fault, that is kind of walled off from the rest of the world. So that's one reason why you would consider forming your trucking business or your brokerage with a formal business, which is either the LLC or the corporation. And it's also the first step in getting your MC number. So before you get your MC number, you have to have your corporation or LLC set up. So that's one reason for it. So another reason is it can in theory help you with taxes. I mean, if you have you have your write-offs that you have, which is in normal course of business. So you have your money that comes in, it's money in and then money out, and then what's left over you would pay taxes on. The IRS seems to recognize if you have a formal business set up in writing off your taxes, they may be a little less prone to ask questions. And anytime we can keep the IRS out of our personal lives like that, that's always a good thing. We don't want them asking questions. We just want to file. We just want to pay if we owe something and not have them ask any questions. And that's sort of the perfect place you want to be. You got to pay what you're supposed to pay. Yeah. And that's where we want to, help keep you. So it just sort of keeps everything like tucked away and nice. So we get a lot of questions, when people are forming their businesses. Hey, I'm ready to form. I want an LLC. And we actually help people file those. We do about 4 or 5 a day nationwide, actually. So the calls come in. We have somebody who just is ready to go. We'll get two or three before lunch. We'll get 2 or 3 after lunch, and we get them filed. And they take anywhere from maybe a few days to a week or so to get them back. With the exception of Pennsylvania, for some reason Pennsylvania is like 2 months or more. Pennsylvania is like pulling teeth, and we've even like reached out to the Secretary of State's office, like, hey, what's up with you guys? Why does it take so long? It's not 1958 anymore, So So, we have some good contacts at each Secretary of State, in the different areas. So that's that's one of the first things. Um, the other portion, just to get a little, just to answer the question, like why would we do a corporation instead of an LLC without getting too deep into it? The corporation, it's actually an option. Instead of the LLC, we would file as an S corporation. And very simply, the reason you would do that, it still protects you. So you have that nice thick layer of protection around your family and around your business. You'll be on the road and realize if there's some sort of catastrophe, your family is safe at home, your home is safe, your vehicles are safe, all of that. If you have money in the bank, that's safe. That's protected. But the other reason to consider possibly an S corporation is that uh, you'll basically pay about 15% less taxes. With the LLC, when we do the calculation, you're responsible for what's called self-employment tax. And with the S corporation, you're not. You're responsible for a much lower amount. You pay yourself a different way through a paycheck, which we can help you provide that if you need help with that. And it just basically comes out to like a really decent tax savings if you go the route of a subchapter S corporation. There's a little more to it. Some people will say, "Well, hey man, you did an S corporation. Why would you do that? You have to file more taxes." That is true. That is true. Not only do you file your 1040, which everybody basically knows the 1040. That's the basic building blocks of filing your taxes. But with the corporation, the S corporation, you have to file what's called the 1120S corporate return. So you got to file both of those. So it's a few $100s more to file that. But let's say, for example, your business made $100,000, and I think we have an example of this that'll go out in the email. So it's the example is called the LLC versus the S corp. So if your business made $100,000, the tax on the LLC is like 15,300. It's 15.3% actually. And if you if you have the S corporation, it's going to be significantly less. But maybe 10 or 12,000 less than that. So that's only on 100,000. I mean, what if you had 2 or 3 trucks and you're doing 700,000 or 800,000 or $1 million? We have a lot of folks who filed their LLC with us. They didn't have jack to start, and now they have lucrative businesses doing between $1 million and $2 million a year. So if anybody thinks this business is not for real, I mean, you have another thing coming, really. So, I mean, there's really good money in this business. And like I said earlier, we have professional athletes. We have guys in the NFL today playing on Sunday, making big money, who are smart enough or got the advice to say, hey, invest in trucking. It's the place to be. If you can remember back during COVID, it was one of those protected industries. We all still were running down the road to deliver the products. I mean, I guess the only time we wouldn't be able to is if, the roads were destroyed or something. But, I don't really see that happening.
Hey, Jay, we had a question come
Sure.
in. Do you see that across the bottom there? I don't know if you see that or not, but it says we figured around 14,000 for taxes last year on the LLC. This year, as you know, I'm an S corp, but revenue is down roughly 90,000. I'm assuming my liability will be tremendously less this filing. Yes or no?
Yes. So if the revenue is down 90,000, that's 90,000 less that you would even just pay tax on to begin with. So I would imagine, and really, I mean, it's almost like I want to say don't feel bad because, everybody's in that boat right now. But what we'll do is just sort of relock and reload, get 22's tax out of the way, it should be much lower. Oh, and by the way, I'm I'll get in touch with you because we're going to help you on the abatement of some of those taxes, like chopping down the penalties and stuff like that. But as far as 22, the mindset is just let's just get this this one in the can and then focus on 23 and hope better things will happen. So you won't be down that 90K. Let's hope you're up 180K.
Yeah.
And it certainly could be there. I mean, you look at diesel prices right now. If something ever were to happen with the Keystone pipeline, I mean, if that was to open up or something, I mean, we could have diesel prices back into 325 or something like that. Could you imagine? And diesel is such a huge chunk of trucking companies' expenses. I mean, that could be like 25, 35, 40% of expenses. Could you imagine if that was cut like 40% or something like that? So that's a huge issue right there.
That'd be huge. Jay, where do people, when people get themselves in trouble, like you mentioned earlier, someone can start from nothing and then all of a sudden friggin', they're doing $700-800 million. Where do people get themselves in trouble when they first start, and what should they be doing right away so that they can avoid some of those things?
Right. Good question. So what we would like to do, is when they get up and going and get on their feet, we generally say they don't need too much accounting or tax help until they really start. They know they're going to be over 40, 50, $60,000 in revenue. And accounting and tax advisement, I mean, it's not just like looking at your books once a month that we do through QuickBooks. We help a lot of folks with QuickBooks. It's I mean, we're advisors, so we're looking at a business, and let's say perhaps they are eligible for a minority status business with the Small Business Administration. We have all kinds of business funding and loan programs. That money is just sitting by the side of the road, like waiting for a minority owned business to put the application in, which we help people with, and get access to government funds that could help really grow your business. So when I say consulting or advising, it's not just like the X's and O's. It's not just like here run a route and a screen pass and a pass run option or something like that. It's really kind of getting in there, getting to know the clients and advising them and say, listen, this is important to develop a relationship with somebody like us. And if it's not us, somebody else, you know, and in the long run, you can put one foot in front of the other, wake up. Some days are going to be better than other days, and just continue to put one foot in front of the other and be optimistic, and good things should happen. So we're like, yes, we often look at it like we're also part of the diesel fuel you got to put in. As much as diesel fuel is so important, it's really important to stay in touch with folks like us. I mean, we really can help the bottom line and just give you advice that's sort of, it might not be on the map that you think, oh, that's just tax or I just need to speak to them in January. It's really not true. I mean, just with those programs, and you might be running your business one way. Maybe you're a LLC and you're doing really well, but we could save you 30, 40, 50, $60,000 a year just by flipping the paperwork.
Yeah.
And you didn't know that, so I mean that's possible. We have some clients that arrived in this country not being able to speak any English. And we have one particular client over in Pennsylvania that I'm meeting with next week. He was in that boat. He learned trucking basically, and he had a pretty good business acumen. I mean, I mean, after learning the English, he sort of like put the blocks together, And I mean, he basically, just had enough just to get started. Just, here's your few $100s, for the LLC. And we did his LLC and that sort of thing. I mean, today he does between $7 and $10 million. He's got over 30 trucks. I mean, now our conversations are, what steakhouse are we going to meet at? Who's paying the bill? And what investment, he wants to know, hey, he's looking for another house. What house should I buy as a Airbnb investment? So he went from nothing, literally nothing, to one of the top earners in the entire United States. Of course, there's a lot more people that earn more than $7 to $10 million, but $7 to $10 million, you're in the top 1%. So,
I'd say so.
And it was very simple. I mean, it wasn't sophisticated. It wasn't like he had, software programs. It was just really learning from, guys like you. And, he was out of, Shaggy's group and that sort of thing. But just continuing to get some education and speak to guys and kind of stay in the loop. And we were able to help him along the way. We still help him. And we were able to grow with him. Like we had nothing with him except an LLC. So it was like, well, what do we do next? I mean, we don't want to wait till January to do some more business. So we started doing his accounting and things like that and his payroll, and we're able to grow. Now he asks us for a lot to do. He's like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you get me an SBA loan? Can you pay my bills? Can you, so can you speak to can you have someone call in and speak to? So we have like a paralegal or a tax assistant who will, like the bill just goes. So if he's eating, we're eating as well. So
yeah. Jay, obviously, Jay, we've had a weird 3 years. The ups and downs have been crazy with COVID. We're obviously going into what potentially could be a different kind of year with 2023. What advice do you have for people, to protect that money as we go into this year? Is it let's go out and spend it on something? Is there an investment? And obviously you're not a financial advisor here, but you guys offer so many different services, helping people out with the minority applications, things like that. What is it that 2023 brings that would bring a little more value to people that may be struggling with what happened this year? Honestly, there's been a slowdown in trucking, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. So I would say first of all, I mean, unless the sky falls, it looks like things can turn around. So if we get a slight adjustment on diesel fuel, if that comes down, if rates can go up a little bit, tire killer, afraid of the full blown depression. But like I said, I mean, this coming month, I mean, this is going to be a big month coming up. So we'll see kind of what direction things can possibly go in. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but possibly could things change a little bit. I mean, we'll see about that. I mean, who knows? But just also is like trying to stay positive, and then if we're in a position where we can make some money in 23. I see guys who invest in their own business, like guys who are always calling me saying, I want to buy a trailer. It's $18,000. I want to buy a truck. Is somebody has one. There's one in Nashville. It's $30,000. It's a Freightliner Cascadia or whatever. And, they're investing in themselves. I really see that as a good thing. As far as a place, to put your money. If you put money into a truck, I mean, theoretically, you could always sell it if you had to. I mean, it's a hard fixed asset, and it's not something you're going to be like skimming from every day. It's not like a slush fund, really. It's not like you can get it. So you have to be you have to be brave enough to try to go get some of that SBA funding, to be able to take on some business loans, put some business loans in your business name without your social security number. That's another thing we're very, very big into and have been all year. We had like over 300 drivers participate in that this past year. So you build the strength of your business so that, and you start with little accounts like Staples and Dell Computer, and then they're giving you credit just in your EIN number. And then before you know it, you'll have Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo. They will be offering you lines of credit. So you just use what you need, and it's in your EIN number and your business name, and there's no social security. We like to get your social security number out of the game. So we don't want that to get wrecked in any train wreck or anything like that. So in the beginning, of course, you need your social security number for things that you need, but in the long term, try to get it out. So we like investing in yourself. The other thing, like a number of people have asked us, people who are doing well and they have some money left over, is that we've set up accounts to where they're paying their children. The IRS allows for a $12,000 pay your child. So if you have 3 kids and you pay them all $1,000 a month, that's $36,000 that can come right off your taxes. So let's say you're tire killer and you had a net profit of 80,000, just for example. Well, instead of on 80,000, you're going to pay. That's a nice little chunk you'll pay in taxes. If you just flowed money to your kids, that takes 36,000. So now instead of 80, you're at like 44. And that's a big difference. So there's little strategies that you can do to kind of help yourself and keep that money in your family name at the end of the day. So when people connect with us, they ask us, questions like that. What can I do? Where do I go in 2023? I would say just keep your head up, keep yourself healthy, do what you can, and keep walking forward every day. It's certainly a challenge, and like I said, not every day is going to be your best day, but you got to just get up in the batter's box and take another swing at it. And you may hit the home run on Tuesday or Thursday, but you're going to get it if you keep swinging, and we can help you make that that batting adjustment, so to speak, along the way and help you get there.
Right. Something that I've always been a big believer in when I was with the freight brokerage and then the trucking company before is we were looking at, cash is cash, right? It's coming in, but sometimes you don't realize, where your P&L stands, even as you get cash coming in, because it's such a cash-rich business of, you're just churning along. How important is it, or, on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, that you're checking in with, people and saying, hey, here's, your expenses, here's where you're at. Tire Killer said 40% of his expenses this year have been in fuel. How important is it to do that kind of monthly or quarterly check-in on a P&L so that you can get a feel of, where's my business at and what's it doing?
Yeah, we like to do that. So what we recommend is we have a lot of people on QuickBooks where they may know QuickBooks to an extent, but they don't know it enough to really keep it whistle and keep it really rolling smooth. So they will have us. There's Tire Killer again. Yeah. So how we can help folks out is we'll come in and just take over their QuickBooks, and we'll produce like a monthly report to them by maybe the 15th or the 20th of the month or so that they have a P&L and a balance sheet, and they can see what came in, what came out, what's left over. And the other important thing with that is, assuming you're starting to make some money, and this is not always in the first year, but you're starting to make some money. Well, instead of that money piling up and then you have a huge tax liability at the end of the year, we can look at that profit and loss and say, listen, here's 2 or 3 months in a row, we made a decent profit. Maybe it's time to put a little bit of that away and send some to the IRS, which is called a quarterly payment. And we watch that very closely so you don't get in trouble. So you're not, at the end of the year, you do your taxes and there's an $18,000 bill or $38,000 bill that you're not expecting. So we help you sort of manage that and manage your expectations. And, that's very important that you kind of know, your money in and your money out. Um, you might not remember every little dime, but you need to really know your fixed costs and the costs that are the same each month, and then you'll have other things and cost of doing business. It's called cost of goods sold, and whether you're buying equipment or there's repair and maintenance, and in our industry, repair and maintenance is like diesel fuel. It's another huge area. You have to keep if those wheels are not turning, then it's like a cash register. The cash register is broke. You don't want a broke cash register. You want those wheels turning. Those wheels are turning. That just means money coming in on every time it turns around. There's something coming into your bank account. You got to just think of it like that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I love that, Jay. You've got so much knowledge in your head. I think it's really important that people take the time to reach out to you. How do people find you? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Do you prefer text, email, cell? What is it? What works best to get in touch with you, Jay?
Sure. Any and all of that on our documents we gave you, so we should be there. But I'll just give you the shout out. Our main number is 800-950-2237. We like receiving texts at 646-829-9623. That's 646 829-9326. Did I say that correctly?
If not, definitely the people can give us a shout out, and I'll make sure they get in touch with you. So
yeah, you can text us there, and email. You can email us at you can send email right to me, JD, just the initials J and D, at Group HQ for headquarters.com. And most likely I'll send you back. If not, it'll be like one of the, somebody from our office that'll get back. I mean, if I'm traveling, usually somebody's picking up the emails. I was just in Phoenix last week for the Arizona Cardinals game. That's a beautiful indoor stadium right there. So,
awesome.
So I mean, we have the coverage here on the inside, and to stay in touch with you, and and we love talking shop talk. So if you're in trucking, that's our game.
That's awesome. Jay, you obviously sent us some documents that we can be sharing and sending out. If anyone wants those, hit us up at support@ecarriercheck.com, or you can email Jay. You just mentioned his email there. Jay, thank you for coming on today. You've really been a rock star. We appreciate it. Anyone needs a good accounting advice, just good advice. Jay's just a good dude. Hit him up, and we definitely want to support you any way we can, Jay. So,
hey, thank you guys. I really enjoyed being in here. Love those shirts, and hopefully, we have some more donations coming in, and that's a great cause. I love it. Way to go, guys! And anytime, and thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick before we wrap up, Nate, how do people get in touch with eCarrier Check? What do we do in order to be out there so that people can see our platform?
Yeah, definitely. We're all over YouTube. We're trying, like I said, we're trying to take over the social media platforms. We're learning as we go. Jay kind of knows what's going on there. But yeah, get in touch with us. Just check out ecarriercheck.com. Sign up for a demo. I got a little banner going across the bottom of the screen, so you can check that out. Get in touch with us. Let's see how we can help you grow your business. That's our number one goal around here. And we just love to give back. So that's what we do.
I love it. Thank you, Jay. Nate, thanks for being on. Everybody have a great Thursday, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.